Now, politics reporter for The Washington Post and author of the daily newsletter, The 5-Minute Fix, Amber Phillips, joins us. Her latest piece is entitled Why Trump's Georgia Arraignment Trial Could Be Different Than the Others. Also with us, the legal perspective, criminal defense attorney and former Watergate prosecutor John Sale. And MSNBC host Mehdi Hasan joins us as well. Great to have you all on the show this hour.
John, I always love having you on because, thank God, I never know what you're going to say, which is the highest compliment I can pay.
For sure.
Very independent-minded. I saw a column by Andy McCarthy, a guy who writes for National Review and also New York Post a couple days ago. And he laid it out, I thought, in a pretty compelling way. He thinks the Georgia case and the documents case are the strongest cases. He thinks the January 6th case is a bit of a reach legally, and he thinks the Manhattan case is a joke. I'm curious, and I'm not assigning those feelings to you or those words to you. I'm curious how you look at these four cases and how you lay them out in terms of threats to the former president.
Well, I read Andy's column, and as you know, he's a Fox contributor, so I read it with great interest. I think the documents case is the easiest to try. I think the Georgia case with 19 defendants, there is no way that can get tried quickly. Actually, as it stands now, every defendant is a separate case. A jury, if it's ever selected, will be instructed that they have to deliberate as to each defendant separately. Now, some may plead, some may get dismissed out, but as of now, we have to assume there are 19. There's a RICO case going on right now in Atlanta where they've been trying to pick a jury for 6 months. So that case is just not going to get tried. I think the federal case, Jack Smith's case, is the most serious that can get tried. And I think that realistically that one can get tried. A very close friend of mine persuaded me to change my mind about something. I used to be against cameras in the courtroom. Now I strongly believe this case needs to be televised because the American people need to see the story so we don't become numb to this. I mean, I saw John Meacham on your show a couple of days ago, and he said that there are a large number of people who would follow Donald Trump to a cliff, and then he said a number of them might follow him over the cliff. Those are the people, some of them, need to see this case on television. I also would like to tell you something about Roy Cohn if I get a chance.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I don't.
Yeah, sure,
go ahead.
Because Mika said a day or two ago, I think, Mika, you read something from the New Yorker that Donald Trump learned his playbook from Roy. Well, I had the, trying to think of a better word than pleasure, of interacting with Roy. As an AUSA in the Southern District of New York, I tried a case against him, and it was in his interest to be nice to me. And he could be charming, but I want to tell you that he, when he represented Donald Trump, because I also knew him in the private sector, he did teach him the playbook. It started with, and I don't mean this to be light, Roy Cohn didn't pay anybody. Roy Cohn was known and liked in the courthouse, but a court reporter wouldn't take an order from him without a bank check or cash up front. And he got away with it. But Roy Cohn, take no prisoners, go after your adversaries, go after them personally. But here's the thing that bears upon a possible plea bargain. And I think I could tell you a plea bargain that would work. Now, if I were Trump's lawyer and I went in and I said, Mr. President, or as they like to call him, boss, or he calls himself, sir, here's a plea bargain for you, he'd throw me out. He would throw me out of the office. But Roy told me that he described a country lawyer, Joe, I don't know if that sounds familiar, and you said you're a country lawyer who fell off a turnip truck. I mean, when I heard you say that,
yes, sir.
my Ivy League degree, I'm taking it and mocking it void because you could really run circles all around me. But Roy was humiliated by Joe Welch during the Army McCarthy hearings. And Roy said he'll never let that happen again. But the important thing is that the odds of beating a federal case are very slim. 95% or higher of their conviction rate. What are the odds of Donald Trump beating two of them? Well, I believe Chris Christie is right when he says Donald Trump is afraid to go to prison. And if he's going to be booked like everyone else in Atlanta, he's going to spend hours actually locked up. And he might entertain a possible plea bargain. But why will he eventually turn it down? Because Roy Cohn was indicted 3 times by the feds, and guess what? 3 times not guilty.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
Well,